What's up, y'all? It's Out Sports Kid here with my 2023 Ole Miss Rebels season predictions. Let's get into it. Last year, Ole Miss went 8-5. This year, Vegas thinks they are going to win between 7 and 8 games. So stay consistent. They brought back a lot of players on this team, 9 on offense and 7 on defense, while 4 Rebels were drafted in this past draft. Their overall recruiting rank for this past class was 17th, and their transfer rank was 3rd in the country. They brought in one 5-star freshman, Sunterine, Mr. Perkins from Raleigh, Mississippi. I think he plays linebacker, listed as an athlete though. Top 25 player in the country and the #1 player from Mississippi. Second best player in Mississippi is Aiden Williams, who Ole Miss also landed from Ridgeland. Plays wide receiver and is a top 200 player nationally and the 24th best receiver in this class. There were 3 other 4-stars and 11 3-stars that helped Ole Miss get that 17th class ranking of true freshmen. Transfer portal is where it's at though. There were 9 4-star transfers and 13 3-star transfers. 10 of those players will be starters. 10 new players on this team they're going to start. That's crazy. Some of those players are Mr. Caden, transferring in from Memphis as a tight end. Going to be the starter. Should be pretty decent. Was a no-star recruit out of high school. Worked his way up to a 4-star transfer. We also have Zachary Franklin. I've watched him play a couple times. He is a receiver transferring in from UTSA. Pretty good 2-star high school recruit. Now a 4-star transfer. And there's also Monty Montgomery, a 4-star linebacker transfer coming in from Louisville. Very good transfer class, top 5, as Kiffin had last year, I think, too. My ratings for this Ole Miss Rebels team, I'm giving them a 9.5 or 9 on offense and a 7 on defense. The offense looks pretty good. Jackson Dart starting at quarterback. Running backs are pretty good. It could be better than last year. Receivers are also pretty good. They're more experienced. The offensive line has a total of 131 combined starts. Always good when your offensive line has more starts. D-line, pretty good. Almost as close on paper as it were last year. Almost as good as it were on paper last year. Linebackers, pretty good. Defensive backs, corners, okay. Defensive backs should be fine. Anyway, here we go. Ole Miss schedule. Schedule difficulty is an A. They have a top 15 schedule in the country in terms of difficulty. They play Bama, Georgia, Georgia Tech, and Tulane out of conference. Then they play the rest of the SEC West, which is the most difficult division in college football. They start out week 1 versus Mercer Bears, I think. Should be a big win. This is a FCS team, and Ole Miss should just smoke them. Next, they play Tulane. Tulane is a fun team. Last year they were. They won the Cotton Bowl last year. Had 2 losses. This is a road game for Ole Miss, heading down to New Orleans, good old Nolans. And I could see Tulane keeping this game close, but I could also see Tulane going back to their old 2-10 habits. Overall, Ole Miss should win this game. Next, we have Georgia Tech. Good old Georgia Tech, also in a home-and-home with them. Last year, Ole Miss won very convincingly on the road in Atlanta, and I'm expecting them to do the same thing at home in Oxford. Georgia Tech should also be probably the worst or one of the worst teams in the ACC, so that doesn't help them. Now, starting SEC play, of course, Ole Miss gets Bama right off the bat. On the road in Tuscaloosa should be a loss. Ole Miss could keep it close. Their offense is pretty good, and usually it is. But I could see them keeping it a little bit close, but I'm going to say Bama gets a solid win in Tuscaloosa in their first conference game. LSU is the next team on the schedule. Good old LSU. Gonna say it's a toss-up. This is a game in Oxford, Mississippi, and I think LSU could win. They are pretty good. Hate to say that, but they're pretty good. I could see Ole Miss using their strong offense to stay in it, but I think LSU might get the win. They might get the win. Although Ole Miss could. Almost could. Next up, we have Arkansas, who I'm going to say is going to give Ole Miss another victory. It'll be a bit closer than the Tulane game, I would think. Arkansas is not fantastic. Nothing too crazy. But Ole Miss should win that. Next, we have Auburn on the road. Hugh Freeze is a little bit scary. Hugh Freeze. On the road, though, I don't think it matters. Ole Miss should get another victory in back-to-back weeks against the Razorbacks and Tigers. Now we have good old Vandy. Ole Miss has lucked out to pull Vandy as their permanent rival from the East. Sad little Vandy. Should be a big win at home. Last year, Vandy kept it close throughout most of the game. But I think Ole Miss should win in big fashion this year, even though Vanderbilt is coming off of a bye week. Now we have Texas A&M, my team. I'm going to say it'll be a toss-up. I'll say it's a toss-up. Ole Miss plays well at home. Last time A&M played in Oxford, we had Zach Calzada as our quarterback, and we threw a pick six to pretty much close out the game. It was close, though. Last year, A&M should have won that one as well, but there's some silly stuff happening. I'm gonna say it's a toss-up because it's at home. If it was in College Station, I'd say it's a close loss. Two teams didn't play in 2020. In 2019, A&M won, and same in 2018. Hopefully, A&M gets back on that winning streak over Ole Miss. But you need to break it first. Really a toss-up right now. Big game for both schools. Next up, we have good old Georgia on the road. Of all places and all games, heading out to Athens, Georgia, and you're gonna take a loss there. Sorry, Ole Miss, you're gonna take a loss there. Ole Miss probably the second best team on the Georgia schedule, but I still think they take a loss. Next, ULM, good old Louisiana Monroe. One of my favorite Sun Belt teams, I guess. Either way, Ole Miss should get a big victory in that game. And then finally we have the Egg Bowl. Miss State probably going to decline a little bit from how they have been recently, and either way, I think it could be sort of a toss-up. On the road in Starkville, I think Miss State keeps it close, but Ole Miss wins in the end, even though it's on the road. Ole Miss, on paper at least, should win that game, but because of the rivalry, I think they should keep it close. Anyway, my record prediction is 8-4. 8-4 for a top 15 schedule in the country is pretty solid. Get 4 wins against the crummy teams. Then you get 3 wins over Tulane, Arky, and Auburn for 7 wins. I don't think you beat either Bama or Georgia, and then I think you only win one of the toss-up games, and hopefully it's not A&M. Realistically, I think it's Mississippi State, and then I think they actually lose both of the LSU and A&M games. That's how I got to 8-4. Anyway, let me know down in the comments, what do you think about Ole Miss? How are they going to do this season? How is Lane Kiffin doing? Personally, I hate his guts, but, you know, whatever. When's he going to move? Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, peace.